Hello, hello, hello. I hope that y'all are well. Put a 1 in the comments if y'all can hear me clearly. Put a 1 in the comments if you can hear me clearly. Perfect. Also, let me know in the comments where you are watching from. I'm about to see y'all. I think y'all about to see me change this lip, cause I don't think I like it. Hey Maryland. Hey North Carolina. I don't think I like it at all. So let's see if we're gonna mix it and make it something else. That's more like it. It's a little bit too orange for me. Yeah, I like it better. Come on in, come on in, come on in. All right. Okay, so today we're going to be really having a conversation because I've been talking to you guys about a lot of energetics and different things lately, and so we're going to talk about the truth, your nervous system chaos. And so we're going to talk about the real cause behind a lot of health struggles. But we're first going to get into grounding, not grinding, for cash flow. And this is going to be a very huge paradigm shift for high-powered entrepreneurs. Because I'm going to tell you something. With everything that's happening in the world, it kind of can be very hard to stay focused and to stay disciplined and do the things that you need to do. But I'm going to, hopefully, after this live, this will serve as, I don't want to say motivation because I don't really tap in that, but I hope that it activates you or initiates you into action, because it's very important that you really understand how an unregulated nervous system is really the root cause of a lot of issues and a lot of different things. And it's because that a lot of business owners are out here grinding by definition. And I made a post earlier today talking about this, and so I'm gonna kind of give you this. And I think people don't really realize, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and there are things that you should not say about yourself, and y'all really probably should stop calling yourself hustlers and people who grind. Hey my love, because to grind by definition means to reduce to powder or small fragments by friction. To grind means to wear down, polish, or sharpen by friction. To ground means to oppress or harass. To grind means to press together with a rotating motion. So when you say that you are grinding, you are literally reducing yourself to small fragments. That's the definition of grinding. So when you say that you hustle by definition means to swindle, which means to steal. So when you are saying that you are hustling and grinding, you are stealing and oppressing your own self. FYI. And there's power, like I said, there's power of life and death in the tongue, and it speaks about that. And so when you say that you're a hustler and you say that you're grinding, I want you to be very clear of how you were taking your own power away. And I think a lot of women don't realize that. And in this time, and the way things are currently with business and life in general, you don't have time for this. You don't have time to be out here grinding. You really want to stop grinding and you want to start grounding for cash flow, because grounding is actually what puts you in position to be able to get cash flow. And I'm going to explain that today. I'm going to talk about 3 different things. I'm going to talk about the consequences of grinding, because there are literally 3 major consequences that end up causing issues in your nervous system. Okay. And I'm also going to tell you where your business is going to go. if you keep going in that same direction. If you do not know me, my name is Elle Antoinette. I'm a feminine mastery architect. And what I do is that I support my amazing clients who are women leaders. I support them in harnessing their feminine energy, mastering emotional intelligence in business, which is going to support them in driving their creativity. It is going to help support them in elevating their productivity as well as enhancing their financial growth. Thank you, my love, for these gifts, okay? So that's what I do. I have built my business up from 0 to 6 figures. I've supported my clients in going from 6 figures to multi 6 figures, and from 5 figures to 6 figures. So I'm not very new to this. I'm very true to this. I absolutely love the work that I do. And the biggest blessing about the work that I do is that my clients don't have to grind themselves in the ground to be able to get cash flow, because that's just not the reality. Society taught you that. But as we all know, society continues to lie to us. So my goal is for you to start standing in the fullness of what truth is, and understanding that being grounded is what actually gets you paid instead of grinding. I just read you the definition of grind, and the grind basically means to run yourself into the ground, to reduce yourself to small fragments due to friction and due to, unnecessary pressure. That's what happens when you are grinding. So be very careful of the things that you say, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get straight into it. Like I said, we're not going to be here super long because I got some stuff to do. But I need to go ahead and give y'all this information. And also, I did reschedule my masterclass because I had some stuff that was going on. So my masterclass is actually happening on August the 4th. So tickets are still available for that masterclass, the Command Your Cashflow, unleashing Command Your Cashflow, calming the nervous system to be able to unleash wealth. If you don't know, as a woman, you've helped me so much from our lives. It's seen. Oh, thank you. All praises to the Most High. Look at me, screenshot that. All praises to the Most High. So I'm sorry, y'all. I be getting distracted. Y'all do me a favor, save y'all questions and comments for that, because I will get distracted. I want y'all to get this message because it's so important. Okay. If you don't know, like I said, this live is going to be a new paradigm shift for high-powered entrepreneurs. If you are not a woman who has a business, or a woman who is a creative, who is active or activating that creativity by allowing herself to be able to receive income, you probably should start, okay? You probably should start. You have creative and witty inventions in your very being, according to scripture. There's no reason why you should be solely depending on your 9 to 5, if that's your thing. If you're depending on your 9 to 5, ooh, this thing not gonna stay today. Don't get on my nerves. So that should not be your only thing that you have going on. But this live specifically is going to be for those who are operating already in business, okay? Because I want you to be able to stay in business. And I saw something the other day that was talking about how a lot of pandemic business owners are still not here. And if you've made it through this far, then you really have been able to, hold yourself together. And I'll be honest, I started my business during the pandemic, and I'm one of those people. So people were like, if you were able to survive 2022 and 2023, and I had 6 figures those years. So it's, when I tell you, you can make money with ease and not having to exhaust yourself and be all over the place and be out here crazy, you don't have to do that. Like, stop listening to society when society is telling you that you have to live a certain kind of way. You really have to start asking questions, okay? Asking some real life questions. But I'm going to give you this information. Let me say this first. The relentless grind that people have going on right now to try to get money because they feel like, oh, it's not enough money, everything is so expensive. That's not a badge of honor. You're not gonna get hand claps or anything like that from the one that created you, because you chose to work extremely hard. What you actually are running towards is you're finna crash directly into burnout. It's a fast track to burnout. When you are exhausting yourself to oblivion, I'm talking about when it comes down to work, when it comes down to other people. If you are spending your time all over the place, you're going to have some issues. True wealth, and everyone should know this by now by paying attention, you can't work your way into wealth. The whole generational wealth game requires you to be able to build something that makes money, and then taking that money and allowing that money to work for you. And if you don't really understand that system, you can't work your way up with that. Okay, that's something that they don't really tell you. So what I need for women who are extremely ambitious, because this is what tends to be the problem with women who are very ambitious. Women who are extremely ambitious tend to, try to do everything and overwork themselves and overextend. And because they do these things, they exhaust their bodies. Okay. Like I said, you have to pay attention to how your body is doing during this process, because one of the things that I tell my clients all the time is that the health of your business is dependent upon the well-being of its CEO. So if you are not doing well, if you are not at your best, your business is going to be sure, excuse me, my nose is itching, sure to follow. So you want to be very, very careful to start positioning yourself to ground, because I'm telling you, let me listen to me. If you have a business right now, you should not be consumed with what's happening in society, from the gossip to the news and all these things, because they're going to get you off track. So you're going to have to be very planted, very rooted, very grounded, because there are a lot of things around you that are going to be saying, hey, you should be doing this. Hey, there's no money here. It's going to be a lot of fear mongering. It's already happening now. There's a lot of fear mongering conversations around business, around money, and all these different things. And in reality, money is being moved over your head. If you're not seeing any money in the conversation, and I keep saying this, if the conversation around you is always, I don't have, it's not enough, girl, I need to get on my grind and get on my hustle and do this, what that lets me know, and what I'm letting you know, is that you're in the wrong room. Money is being moved consistently. So if you are not experiencing that, if that's not your reality, then you are in the wrong room. And when I say you are in the wrong room, you are in the wrong friend group. Because money is being totally transferred over the top of your head. And if you don't raise the vibration within yourself, you will not access it. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of people are not going to access it. A lot of people, it's too late for them, because a lot of people need too much mindset work. So you need to stop trying to carry people and bring people with you who are not ready, because those people are going to sabotage your next level. So it's highly important that you really understand the vitality and the importance of being rooted and grounded as a woman, especially as you go forth for the rest of this year in business, because there are things that are constantly happening. The world is literally at unrest. And so because of that, you need to be well rested, so you know what you need to be doing, so you can tap into your creativity, so you can get your piece of the pie. Because guess what? That 250 billion creator economy that's right now going on is projected to be, by 2027, $480 billion in that creator economy. It's not going nowhere. See, this is the thing. We think in dollars in the sense of money, in the sense of that paper money that we actually have, that's 75% cotton, 25% linen. You can look that up on Google. If you got $100 bill in your pocket, it is 75% cotton, 25% linen. It really has no real value, because there's no backing behind it. So when I'm speaking about the 250 billion, when I'm speaking about the 480 billion that they're projecting for 2027, this is actual money, but it's just not the money that you're thinking, but it's currency. And it's being transferred every single day over your heads. And I need you to really understand that, okay? And I need you to get your piece of the pie. And you ain't going to be able to do it by working hard. You're not going to be able to do it by working hard, because you're not going to be able to outwork robots, because that's what they're building. And you're not going to be able to outwit AI, okay? And so you have to have what the World Economic Forum calls the irreplaceable asset, which is human creativity. And in order for you to access your human creativity, you have to do it from a grounded place, because you cannot create from a low vibrational state. You can only destroy. You can only destroy from anger. You can only destroy from shame. You can only destroy from guilt. You can only destroy from apathy. You can only destroy from fear. But you know what you actually destroy is your damn self. And that's what you need to understand and be clear on. So when you sit on those vibrational states, that is what's happening. You are self-destructing. Why? Because it tells you in John 10:10 that the enemy has come to steal, kill, and destroy. And how that happens is that your joy gets stolen first, but you position yourself for your joy to get stolen by what you allow into your space and who you allow into your space. And once your joy is stolen enough, it begins to kill your confidence, which is the breaking of the spirit. And once the spirit is broken, guess what happens? You begin to self-destruct. It's really that simple. So we are in a stage right now as women, especially entrepreneurs. What you need to know is you need to choose, you need to make a move. You need to either choose to thrive or survive, because some of y'all gonna get stuck in survival mode and y'all not gonna make it. And then they're going to be the ones who are going to continue to thrive no matter what is happening. Y'all need to go really study and read what it says in Psalm 1. Because in Psalm 1, it literally tells you that the people who follow wisdom and who follow the Most High, they will bear fruit in every season. It literally says they are like planted by rivers. Y'all need to really go read and grasp the understanding of that. Because yes, things are happening, things are going to happen. That doesn't mean that you're going to lack. You're only going to lack if you choose that reality for yourself. Okay? Because it says that the Most High takes care of his own. It says that the righteous has never been found begging for bread. So the reality is, what are you going to believe? What frequency are you going to tap into? What truth are you going to carry and tattoo on your heart? Because that makes a difference. Because that's the difference between you grinding out here trying to get it because society is telling you there's no money, versus you grounding yourself enough to be able to create, to be able to receive money, because that's your birthright anyway. And that is also John 10:10 on the other end, okay? So, because it says the Messiah has come to give you life and give you life abundantly. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, because we got to go from the constant grind into a strategic, calm mindset approach, because it's not just beneficial. It's actually essential for sustainable success and for sustainable well-being. If you want to be well, if you want to do not just do business, but do well in business and be well, you're going to need to learn how to ground. You're going to have to stop grinding. Okay? So here are the consequences of grinding. And I'm going to just go ahead and get straight into it. Number one is physical exhaustion. Now, a lot of people will look at it and say, well, I don't have a job, or I don't do anything that's necessarily physically exhausting. And this. It starts like this. If you didn't know, I'm going to put you on game. Spirit first, mental second, emotional third, physical last. Okay? Then we go into finances, and then we go into social. So your relationship with yourself spiritually and your spiritual self-care routine is highly important for your mental health. Because if you don't understand the importance in what you believe and you're not rooted in it spiritually, you're unable to capture your thoughts because you have no truth to compare it to. So therefore, you accept every thought that comes into your head. And that's why you continue to overthink things that are actually not true, which makes you more faithless, which positions you to be repelled, or let's say this, or positions you for, or positions your blessings, which is happiness in Hebrew. Blessing means happiness in Hebrew. So this positions your blessings to be blocked. And it all comes from your lack of belief and you being not rooted in your beliefs. Because you're not rooted in the belief that the Most High takes care of his own according to his riches and glory, right? Because you don't believe that, you actually believe that society says that we're in this recession where you don't have any money and you don't have this and you don't have that. You take action based on what society told you. So you go out here and you get 3 jobs. You go out here and you create 5 businesses when your first business ain't making no money. When the reality is you should be taking 1 business and making 5 streams from it. But because you feel like you need to do more because you're not doing enough because society told you that lie, that's how you move. Because guess what? The belief impacts your biology, and the biology influences the way that you're behaving. Because you believe society and you believe the lie. This is why you're in the predicament you're in, and now you're physically exhausted. But guess what happens when you become physically exhausted? When you become physically exhausted, this leads to chronic fatigue and other various health issues. When you overexert or deplete your vital energy reserves and you're not eating right on top of that, that leaves you not only physically drained but mentally drained, and it sets you up for illnesses like chronic fatigue syndrome. See, some of y'all out here thinking oh, I'm just so tired, I'm just so this, hey my love, I'm just so that, when in reality is you have chronic fatigue syndrome because you don't know how to say no. You don't know how to stick to your boundaries. You don't know how to, you don't know your identity, so you find your identity in doing, so you do everything for everyone to the point to where you are extremely exhausted, and you are so exhausted that you can't execute on your own goals, which is why you stay in low vibrational states, and which is why you stay hating on other people, because you have desire in your heart but you take no action. So now we have envy and jealousy. That's exactly why Cain killed Abel. Get into it. See, a jealous person is a dangerous person. Be careful not to become a jealous person, because again, I tell you, a jealous person is a dangerous person. And see, jealousy starts at the bottom of the vibrational scale, the bottom of the map. Okay? The consequences of you grinding is that you position yourself to have chronic fatigue and be sick for long periods of time. Here's the second aspect of you grinding, right? So let's get into this aspect. Then there's a mental overload. Because you're grinding, and you have all these things in your mind that you have to do and that you need to do, you fill your mind with stress and anxiety and overwhelm. And when you fill your mind with stress, anxiety, and overwhelm, you violate spiritual law. Especially if you say that you're a believer, and you may ask, how do I violate spiritual law? By allowing stress and anxiety and overwhelm into my body, because that's a clear indication and a clear sign of lack of faith. Because if you have belief, right, that these things are going to work out the way that they are supposed to work out, then why would you have anxiousness? Why would you stress about it? And why would your mind be overwhelmed and overloaded? Why would that be happening? Because you lack faith. And guess what happens when you get that anxiety and that stress and that overwhelm in your mind? It begins to show up and manifest in your body with psychosomatic symptoms or psychosomatic illnesses. So now you're getting sick, and it all started because of what was going on in your mind. When I was a little girl, my mom used to always say, when I used to be like, I'm hurting, and then she'd be like, it's in your mind. I used to get pissed. I used to be so mad, like, what is she talking about? It's in my mind. Like, I'm tired, I'm hurting, whatever. But she was absolutely correct. It's in your mind. It's what you believe. And if you don't believe me, think about the last time that you looked down at your leg and you realized you were bleeding, but you didn't even know that you were cut. And the minute you looked at the cut, then you realized your brain said pain. So then all of a sudden you started to feel pain, because belief, again, belief impacts biology, and biology influences the way that you behave. Period. Every single time. So when you overload your mind with all of these things because you violated spiritual curse of lack of belief, right? This impairs your cognitive function, so you can't think straight. This stifles your creativity, so guess what? You ain't finna catch a bag because you ain't got no invention, okay? This deteriorates your decision-making skills. All of a sudden, you become so indecisive. Hey, my loves, okay? This mental overwhelm that you got going on, thank you, my love, for these gifts, literally stifle your ability to be able to receive, because you can't create. And you can't create because you're not inspired. And you're not inspired because all you read, watch, and listen to is junk. So there is no inspiration. There is no imagination. There's no connection to the imagination. There is no nurture. There is no softness. You become bitter. You become bitter. And a lot of women tend to ask me, like, well, how do I become more feminine and I become more this? You sure in the hell don't do it by exhausting yourself to oblivion. You sure don't do it by being faithless. You sure don't do it by overthinking. You sure don't do it by not creating and not making decisions that need to be made. And so let's talk about what this does when you have this mental overload. You know what it does to you? The third thing, it creates emotional imbalance within the body. And that's one of the most dangerous things that you can have going on as a woman. The most dangerous things, the two most dangerous things that you can have going on as a woman is your chemical energy being off and your energy and motion being off within your body. Your chemical energy comes from what is put in the body. Okay? So these are the things of what you're eating and all of this and all of that. I don't think people understand why it's so important for you to eat better and to eat healthier. And this is coming from someone who used to be 90 pounds heavier than I am now. I used to be like, child, I got pictures, okay? They on the page, y'all can see them. But I don't think people understand the severity of changing and shifting the things that you eat. Because I saw a post that says we get cancer, we get and kill cancer every day within our body. Every single day we get cancer, and every single day we fight it off. You know why it stays in certain bodies and it doesn't exit the body? Or you know why certain illnesses like don't leave the body? That's because the body is not healthy enough for it to pass through. It doesn't have what it needs. Every 24 hours that we get up, and this is mammals and this is human beings. Oh, and if you didn't know, I'm an energetic psychology practitioner. So I study energetics on a cellular level. Okay? So every organism that gets up in the morning is doing a couple of things. The first thing that it's doing is that it's searching for food. The reason why it's searching for food, because it needs the food to be able to operate according to that energy, and it also needs to store that energy, okay? It's also, your body is also fighting against things that are entering in the body that don't belong. That's why the immune defenses need to be extremely strong. When you eat things like processed foods all of the time, because you're not eating nutrient-dense foods, that means that the kidney can't do its job. So let's talk about the kidney for a second, okay? The kidney is connected to your teeth, bones, and it does a lot of work when it comes down to regeneration. So regrowing and stuff like that, that's the kidney's job. But if you eat things that are terrible, that are processed, that the body can't process, it's going to create pockets in the body because it can't process it, so it needs to put it somewhere, which throws the body out of balance. So that's one element. So now your chemical energy is off. But let's talk about it. Let's add a bad relationship on top of that, okay? Let's add a bad relationship on top of you having piss poor chemical energy in your body. So the energy in motion, and oh, by the way, emotion by definition means energy in motion. So if the energy in your motion, or energy in motion within your body consistently, is always one of sadness, always one of anger, always one of stress. Oh, specifically, if it's fear, because fear specifically ruins your kidneys, FYI. Okay? So if it's specifically fear, if Little Miss abandonment issues, Little Miss anxious attachment style, I used to be you. So let's talk about it. Little Miss anxious attachment style, you are so scared that this person is going to leave you alone that you are making yourself sick by ruining your kidneys, okay? And let's add the fact that you don't eat well on top of that. So what ends up happening is that you stress your kidneys out so bad that it can't do the job it needs to do, so it starts to impact the liver. And because it starts to impact the liver, then guess what ends up happening? You start having issues in your menstrual cycle. Yeah, and it's all because you're worried about a man who don't care. And you worrying about him leaving. And you making yourself sick to the point to where you are ruining your kidneys. Oh, and FYI, did you know that if you ruin your kidneys to a point that you actually can go deaf? Did you know that you love him enough to go deaf? Because you do know that there's a connection between the kidneys and the ears. There's a certain fluid that they both need to use. So if you get so caught up and stuck in the mindset that he's gonna leave, and this is your reality, and you're with him for a long period of time, you're totally gonna mess up your kidneys. I'm just telling you what it is. And when you mess up your kidneys, if you can't afford to do what you need to do to go to dialysis, it literally is going to cause issues and build up so much toxicity that you will go deaf. So imagine not listening and then turning around just to turn around not to be able to hear. Imagine not listening to the voice on the inside of you that's telling you to leave this clown alone. Okay? Imagine not listening and stressing yourself so much about them leaving. And then they leave and you mess your kidneys up so bad. And you ain't even got a bag enough to go to dialysis because you done messed up your kidneys. And now you run the risk of going deaf. That's how it can happen to you. And if you don't believe me, hey, go check, go just Google the connection between the kidneys and your ears and your hearing. If you don't believe me, go look for yourself. Everything I give you gonna come from scripture, science, and psychology, baby. And I am telling you, the science says that you letting that man stress you out and you letting these things put you in a state of fear all the time, baby, is he worth going deaf over? That's all I want to know. I mean, because you ain't listening. You worth going deaf over though? That's kind of wild. So when we're talking about emotionally imbalanced things, like your emotions impact specific organs. If you have so much of a lack of joy, it can mess up your heart. It can mess up the way your heart freaking beats. Like, this stuff is really not a joke. So when I tell you the grind really ain't for you, the grind really is not that girl, the grind does not get you the bag, the grind gets you in the ground. Quick, fast, in a hurry. That's what the grind does. It literally presses you down. That's what it does. So when you're out here saying that you're grinding, that's what happened. So when you have this emotional imbalance, the culture of hustle can leave you extremely emotionally drained. And when I say the culture of hustle, I'm not just talking about in business. I'm talking about in relationships. Because I'm talking to y'all that feel like you got to struggle just to have any form of love, or struggle just to be able to ascend, or struggle just to be able to do better. Like, who told you that? Who told you that? Who taught you that, actually? Because that was a learned. Who did you see do that? Okay? Because that's why I work. That's why I work. Persistent stress contributes to emotional instability. It can impact not only your professional relationships and your personal relationships, but your quality of life. You sure ain't finna do no business. You ain't finna do no business when you all over the place, baby. We can't take a break up. You talking about breaking up and then turn around, we gotta work. Child, we wanna be off work. We can't think, can't eat. Just, I'm eating and I'm sleeping. But you know, some people going through that. I don't know. I ain't never missed no. Baby, he going to sleep, I'm going to sleep. I'm eating, he eating, okay? I don't care. We not together no more, alright, bet. But some people don't be sleeping and eating. All that stressing, all that grinding, pushing yourself into the ground, lowering yourself. For what? Where is it really getting you? That's the consequences of the grind. Physical exhaustion that leads to chronic fatigue syndrome. Wow. Mental overload. Okay, excuse me. Which makes you have anxiety because you have a spirit, because you're violating spiritual law. Emotional imbalance because you hustling your own self. You stealing from your own self. To hustle means to swindle. To swindle means to steal. You stealing from your own self. What are you stealing? You're stealing your own time, energy, and attention. You're stealing it by putting it in a place, in a space that is not even going to be multiplied. It's going to be subtracted. That's crazy work. Okay? So that's the consequences of grinding. But let's go ahead and get into the nervous system chaos and the real cause behind your health issues. Because chronic fatigue ain't the only one. Let's get into it. Going deaf ain't it either. There's so much more. Okay? So there's a connection, right? Between stress and anxiety. They're known to be root causes of IBS. Did you know that IBS is a psychosomatic illness? And if you're wondering what a psychosomatic illness is, it's basically an illness that comes from something within the psyche. It's something within self that is stressed, overwhelmed. It could be past trauma. It's something that's coming from inside that's causing you to have this. And when you look at it, it's even small. When you look at little children, right? You look at little kids that may get nervous or different things like that, or they get scared and they get constipated. Like, these are small things that we tend to overlook, but they're clear sheer signs of worry. Worry weakens the immune system because it weakens one specific organ. It weakens the spleen. The spleen cannot afford to be weakened because it has such a powerful job as the quality control vessel in the body. When it's unable to do its job, it's unable to work with the stomach. And because it can't work with the stomach, now we have digestive issues. So there is a gut-brain axis, okay? And it is linked to your mental state. So when you live in a state of anxiety within your mind, you cause yourself to be thrown out of balance, and you mess up the process of releasing, of digestion. So let's get into why this is so serious for you as a business owner. If you're having issues with digestion, right? Because you are worried all the time and you're consumed and you're this and that. This speaks to a bigger issue. This speaks to your inability to release. Okay? That's what that's talking about. Your inability to release. See, I want you to see the connection. You can't release the worry. You can't release the waste. You can't release the worry. Therefore, you can't release the waste. And because you can't release the waste, guess what? It's sitting within your body. You're sitting in a cesspool now. And that's what's happening with a lot of us. You're sitting in a cesspool. Your whole entire body is now becoming a cesspool because you won't release the worry, you cannot release the waste. And you're not seeing the connection between worry and how it weakens your immune system, because it weakens your spleen. And it weakens your spleen, like I said, because and your spleen cannot work with the stomach. Therefore, you cannot release the waste. So the waste sits in your body. And that's what brings forth and invites illness into your space. These things are extremely connected, and that's why people try to downplay energetics. This is why, like I said, people will come and pay me 4 figures and 5 figures to work with me, because they understand the importance of energetics. Your chemical energy and your energy and motion, that's what keeps your body in flow. If any of those are out of sync or there's an issue, you literally are on a pathway or on a road to some form of illness, period. People don't want to tell you that truth, but it's real. So your emotions matter. So y'all don't think it's coincidental that these people push these toxic relationships? Because that will make y'all sick. It make y'all so sick that the majority of women have anxiety issues, and y'all running y'all tail down to the doctor. These people, I keep telling y'all, they sell y'all problems. They sell y'all stories. They really sell y'all problems covered in stories, which make you sick. And then they turn around and sell you solutions. Because that's what happened. They sold you the toxic relationship game and all that type of stuff through social media and through reality TV and through all of these things. And you bought that in and you digested those things and you took those things in reality and you started acting out on those things. And when you realized that these things made you more anxious and made you more stressed and made you all of these things. So now you're running to the doctor trying to figure out what's going on. And they're saying, oh, you have anxiety. You have this. So now they're putting you on these medications and different things like that, and now you're dependent on them. Now you need it. You see what I'm saying? Now you are dependent upon a system that was never set up to even support you or to see you be successful in the first place. It actually thrives on you being sick. Thrives on you being sick. And these are the things that you really have to pay attention to. So that's just one connection. Oh, yikes. Let's get into the connection of how chronic stress and emotional trauma can trigger or worsen people, or let me say, chronic stress and emotional trauma can lead to illnesses like fibromyalgia. If you ever, I've met maybe like 2 or 3 people with fibromyalgia, and they are in pain. I mean pain. I mean some serious pain. And they have to be on quite a bit of medication for that pain. But I also see a common thread with women. Those women had a lot of trapped, stored trauma. Everything was very much so heightened, and they had high levels of anxiety. That's what I saw with my own eyes from these women. And the thing about it is, sometimes they can even think about something, and the stress response of the body, they start having pain to even think about something or even feel something. That's how much pain. Like I I have never seen anything else like it. When I saw it with those particular women, is when I used to work for the Department of Children's Services. I ran across several women that had it, and they were just stricken with stress. They were stricken with emotional trauma. They were just like, it was trapped in their bodies. So again, when we're talking about releasing the worry so you can release the waste, a lot of people struggle to release, and so the body holds it. So when they're talking about books like The Body Keeps Score, it's because there's no release. And as a feminine woman, you should be able to receive, reject, and release. I haven't said that in maybe over a year, but that's a key thing. Feminine women should be able to receive, release, and reject. If you can't do one of those, then there is something going on that needs to be addressed. It's a root issue within self. And we don't really pay attention to that, and that's very important. Let me tell you another connection that really messes up again. We're going to go back to it again. We were talking about chronic fatigue syndrome. Chronic fatigue syndrome disrupts your sleep patterns. It disrupts your sleep patterns because you are so stressed out that your cortisol levels are too high. So little miss, I'm waking up at 2 a.m. I'm waking up at 3 a.m. You better make sure, because people are like, oh, that's the spiritual hours. Is it, or are you stressed? Now, for some, that might actually be their watch time to get up at 3 a.m. and start praying. Is that your watch time, though? Or are you stressed because your cortisol levels are so high that your body can't even go into the state of rest? It can't sit and rest because you are at unrest. Okay? So vital and so important. Another one, and this gonna really catch y'all. My queens who got psoriasis. And this is coming from somebody who, even as up to a year ago, had issues with psoriasis. Stress. It's stress showing up on your scalp. That's what that is. Emotional stress is known to trigger flare-ups. Oh, and for those who have eczema as well, the flare-ups you get, check your stress levels. It'll worsen symptoms because it has such a huge impact on the immune system. So the immune system can't fight it because the inflammation levels are too high. So now it's trying to get rid of what's happening in the body, but it's happening on your scalp. Just like when you have acne and breakouts and stuff like that, it's coming in certain areas. It's coming from within the body, and it's trying to leave the body. But if you don't really understand that, you're just going to bypass it, like, oh, I'm just having acne, or oh, I'm just having a little gas, or oh, I'm just having a flare-up. There are so many underlying, if you consistently have psoriasis issues, you need to check your stress, and you need to decrease your sugar. If you're constantly having psoriasis issues, you need to decrease your stress. You need to calm your nervous system, and you need to decrease sugar, because that's what's coming out on your scalp. Okay? So I've given you the consequences of grinding. And then I've also given you the root causes behind a lot of health issues. And I'm not even done. Don't even get me started on arthritis. Don't even get me started on type 2 diabetes. Because let's talk about it. Y'all think it's just the sugar? Oh, okay. They call them lifestyle illnesses for a reason. It ain't just the sugar, baby. Trust me. It ain't. Okay? So I've given you those two. So with the consequences of grinding, if you keep doing these things, if you keep grinding, right? If you keep not dealing with the root issues of what's happening, which is you calming your nervous system, this is what's going to be ahead for you in your business, and why your business is not going to make it into 2025 and beyond. I'm just going to be honest with you. Number one, because you have limited vision. When you're grinding and you're in survival mode and you fighting for your life to try to get your next bag, you're unable to see a long-term vision and a long-term goal, or take long-term opportunities, because you're stuck to where you are. You can't get out of the hustle. I got to get 20,000 by tomorrow. I got to get this by tomorrow. You're not even thinking about 20 years. You're trying to get, I need 10K by this. You're not thinking long-term. So you have limited options. So you limit yourself. So yeah, you may get that 20,000, but that's probably all you're going to get, because you are so limited. Because why? Your nervous system is wrecked and you on the grind. And those two things, money, let me just be honest with y'all. Long money is not attracted to the grind. Change is, though. Long money is not attracted to the grind, is not attracted to a wrecked nervous system. But like I said, chump change is. Chump change is always available for the grind, because that's basically what you're doing. You're getting chump change when you're grinding and when you're wrecking your nervous system to try to get a bag. That's what's happening. You're working from a limited space. You're not working from a space of abundance. When you are doing that and you have this type of tunnel vision where it's like, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, it stifles your ability to create anything that's brand new, because you're so zoned in and focused on the wrong thing. And because of that, you can't grow. So your business is stagnant and you're not really making any money because your nervous system is shot and you're listening to society by grinding when they've been teaching you the wrong. See, y'all gotta really pay attention. I thank the Most High for my, let me tell y'all something. If you don't do nothing else, get close to the one that created you so you can understand your gifts. I am so grateful for my gifts of vision and pattern seeing. It used to really scare me. It used to really have me in a tizzy, but I am very grateful for it now. But you really have to just, all you got to do is pay attention to the patterns of society. Don't listen to what society tells you. Pay attention to what society does. Do what y'all did with y'all mamas. Because let's get into it. We did what our people do. We do what our people do. I'm getting New Orleans real quick. We do what our people do. We don't do what our people say. And you need to apply that same rhetoric and mindset when it comes down to society. Society observes, then they create, then they implement. We are literally one large, huge experiment. And if you really just pay attention to how they operate with us, that is how we are treated in every single scenario. So if you can learn the formula in the game on what you need to be observing, so that you know what you need to be creating, so that you can implement, you will never have a problem with income again. And you won't have to clock into somebody's office to be able to do that, because you understand the strategy and the system that is being used against you. Because that's all it is. That's all it is. Social media has been the greatest experiment when you really think about it. When you really, really think about it, it's been the greatest experiment. They literally get to watch people be unhinged online. They get to watch how we respond when things are dropped. They get to watch when things happen, how emotionally unhinged and lack of strategy, like no strategy. They see all of these things. They see all of this, and they're observing and they're creating and they're implementing things based on that. That's why I always tell people, and I tell people this all the time. People don't believe me, but when you take your behind into somebody's comment section on social media to project something that's not actually there, you may read a status and you read it from your perception, and you decide to make a decision and say something, right, that contrasts that statement. What you are doing is projecting, and you are allowing people to see your reality. Okay? You are allowing people to see your reality. I had 2 posts that I posted, and it threw people in a frenzy. The first post was, and honestly, now I understand how they're doing this experiment once I saw this starting to happen. So one post said, don't come over here trying to shoot your shot because I'm going to ask you for some money, right? I shared the post because the reality is, if you're dating me, I am going to ask you for money. And I have no qualms about that. It's not because I don't have any, clearly, but it is because that's what it is. So, and the men I date, they don't have an issue with that. But there were some people who came into the space who were saying, some men came into the space were saying, well, if all you want is money and this and that, doesn't that make you this, and doesn't that do this, and doesn't that do this, and you know, a man shouldn't have to do this, and a man. You're projecting your feelings into my post. And because if I was a person who was not okay, I could use that as ammo against you, because I see that you have an issue with this. A, because you either don't qualify, you either don't have the money, or B, you have been in a position where you have invested piss poorly in the wrong woman, in which that still, none of those things are my problem, because what the status originally said was, don't shoot your shot because I'm going to ask you for some money. So if that didn't apply to you, then why would you comment? Because it triggered you. And see, that's the observation. It triggered you. It triggered you, and you decided to bring your trigger here to my space where I didn't ask for it. I had another post, okay, that I posted, and this one where the women got mad at me. So I made a post, not to make a post, I shared a post, and the queen's post said, a man has a right to expect you to maintain your body type and your weight, right? Women came in the comments by the ducats. When you have a now don't get, and I said, when I shared this, I said there's more in the context. I agree. In the context, this particular, the originator was saying, if you have health issues or if things happen, that's understandable. But to let yourself go for no reason is childish. To say that a person should accept you at any size is childish, is this and is that. And you should want to be, she went into this whole thing. And it really made a whole lot of sense. And I agreed with it. And there still were women who came onto that post projecting about how women don't always bounce back, and make sure a man has this amount to be able to help her to bounce back. See, what you're doing is coming into my comment section and letting me know that you don't have a village that will support you for the 2 years after you've given birth. What you're coming into my comments and letting me know is that you go 50-50. What you are coming into my comments and letting me know is all about you. See, this is what I'm saying, how this is a big experiment. Because they watch how you interact on here, and then they create things, and then they implement things. And I made a post not too long after that said, your triggers and your projections are ammo to people who are watching. Okay? People always wondering why they continue to get hit. It's because they talk too much. See, and we do this not just on social media, but we do this with men, and that's how men can go pew 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 and get you down, and then you be like, he played you. He ain't played you. You gave him the ammo, because that's what we do. Most people are not paying attention. They are projecting. And that's your problem, because you think nobody see you, but we see you clear as day. And you gave us the ammo to hit you because you weren't observing. Therefore, you couldn't create. Therefore, you can't implement, but you can project. And now, because you're projecting, you got a problem. And I don't think, like I said, we realize you got to pay attention to what society is doing. They are observing, they are creating, and they are implementing. They are observing the behavior. They are creating things to be able to keep you in certain situations, and they're going to implement these things. Y'all better ask somebody and start paying attention to the stuff that's being built to house you. And I ain't talking about houses. I'm talking about them, girl, I don't even say that online, but them prisons that ain't got no guards, but it's ran by computers that can hold thousands. Observing is what they doing. Creating is what they doing. Implementing, oh baby, that's what they doing. And your limited vision is gonna hold you back. Let me tell you the next thing that's going to be ahead for your business if you don't get from under that grind and if you don't get that nervous system calm. You're going to have unsustainable success. So, yeah, you're going to get you a little bag. You're going to get you a couple of bags. But it's going to be short-lived like the scammers, like the pandemic entrepreneurs. The ones that thought they just come in here and they're just going to be, ooh, yep, you ain't going to be sustained. That's why a lot of them are gone. Because they was playing the whole lifestyle marketing game by showing you, oh, this is how you can live and tricking people into that. And guess what? They ain't living like that no more because they was never living like that anyway. And it's no point in starting a business when you can't sustain it. That's the point. Sustainability. Even if you're not running the business, don't you want to build the business up to turn around and sell it to somebody so you can sit back and chill? Baby, who wants to? That's why I keep telling y'all, you going to access me now. You can access me now, but you're not going to always be able to. Honey, I'm setting the business up where I can sit back and get paid and just be writing books and just be doing speaking engagements and just be having exclusive retreats, beloved, like that. See, that's what this is being set up for. It's not set up for, and I'm going to sell it. So that's how you got to be thinking. What's the plan? What's the sustainability plan? I'm sorry, I have to fix that thing. What's the sustainability plan here? Okay. So I have let you know the consequences of grinding. I have let you know the nervous system chaos, the real causes behind your health issues. And I've let you know what's ahead for your business if you don't stop. Okay. Now, what is happening is two things, okay? You need to get grounded, and you want to get grounded. Here are a couple of benefits of you getting grounded. Number one, a calm, regulated nervous system fosters mental clarity and focus. With a grounded mindset, you can better harness your creativity. You can engage in strategic thinking. You can make sound decisions. Because here's the thing. We're in the season now. You ain't got time to cry about it. You need to be able to immediately, when something happened crazy, you need to be like, logic was, you need to go within, okay, talk to the Most High, whatever, and then go straight into logic. You ain't got time to be on the right brain. And see, a lot of women are so unhinged. Y'all sitting in right brain energy, and that unhinged behavior and that unhinged emotion is not elevating you. It is actually causing you to descend and to go lower, and you don't want that for yourself. So studies literally indicate if you calm your nervous system that you will lower your blood pressure. If you calmed your nervous system, you wouldn't even have blood pressure issues. Don't even get me started, baby. Let me tell you, first and foremost, there is a root to every illness that you have. From cancer, from eczema, there is something to it. Okay? I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I know. When I was struggling with polycystic ovarian symptoms and syndrome and all those things, I was overworked. I was heavy in my masculine. I had literally, I had so much testosterone. I was growing hair from everywhere. It was because I had so many wounded feminine issues. And it seriously messed me up for a very long time. And when I healed those underlying issues, that is when my cycle started coming back consistently. And it has been for the last 7 years. Without any of their medication, without doing any of the things that they said do, by literally calming my nervous system and literally becoming in sync with my cycle. Yes, it will grow. Okay? So, if you know that you need to calm your nervous system and you know you're struggling in that area, click the link in the bio and grab your ticket to the Command Your Wealth Masterclass, Command Your Cashflow Masterclass, where I will be teaching you how to calm your nervous system so that you can unleash the wealth. Because if you don't realize, your womb is a wealth creation center. I mean, literally and figuratively, that energy that happens around ovulation and all those things, you're supposed to use that energy. You're supposed to be in sync with the 4 phases of your cycle so that you know how to create, you know how to thrive as a woman. Okay? It's so important and so vital for you in this season, if you are a business owner, to be rooted in your calm, because there are going to things that are going to be happening. You don't have time to be focused on that. And I already told y'all the things that y'all need to do to set your business up so you can be crisis proof your cash flow. But one of the biggest things is that if you don't have a calm nervous system, none of that is going to matter. None of that is going to matter because you can't keep your head. See, I've been through one life, a lot of life experiences that has taught me to be able to keep my head. But I can't lie, one of the benefits of going through a process when I pledged sorority was being able to understand that aspect of myself and to be able to deepen that aspect of myself. I see pictures of myself when I worked a stressful job years ago. And my face was so puffy and stressed. Girl, don't get me started, baby. I done showed y'all pictures. Y'all done seen me. Y'all done seen me, honey. At 20 something, looking 40 something, and now I'm 40. Okay, now, and I look better than I did when I was in my 20s. Okay. So the Command Your Cashflow Masterclass is happening on August the 4th. It's $200. You can get it with client or firm and afterpay. You're going to learn how to understand your nervous system. You're going to learn the science of calming your nervous system, the art of calming your nervous system. You're going to understand the nervous system's impact on your creativity and your wealth. You're going to learn techniques to actually calm your nervous system that you can implement every single day. Get into it. And you're also going to get the formula of the grounding, not grinding, for cash flow. Okay, today I gave you a bit of a snippet of that, but you're going to get the actual formula so you can ground, so you can get your cash flow, okay, in that actual masterclass. Like I said, it's $200. You can get it with client or firm and afterpay. I also released a quiz. Well, there's another thing too. If you want to know more about syncing with your menstrual cycle, let me tap that. If you want to know about syncing with your menstrual cycle in order to enhance your creativity, drive your productivity, and increase your financial growth, then look at the Harmony in 6 program. It's a 6-week program. I have some amazing women in the program right now, and they are just chef's kiss, and they are getting so much information, and they're saying that how it's life-changing and how nobody ever really taught them this, but they're very, very grateful for this and being able to apply the concepts. Because the thing is, when you understand your design, it's so much easier for you to operate as a woman. You don't even try to do all the extra stuff once you really get it. It's about aligning with your authentic feminine design. I don't teach you to be like me. I don't teach you to be feminine like me. You can't. I can't be feminine like you. You have your own authentic feminine design. My position is to guide you back to that space of alignment, okay? And in that process, we remove those blocks. Then you get more creative. Then you start attracting more clients. Then you start making more money. Then it becomes easier for you to execute over and over again. I have a client on here now, Jessica, right? My client Jessica literally just started working with me July 2nd. And in the time frame, I had sent her a message yesterday. In less than 30 days, Jessica has improved her digestive system, like her digestion, because she has calmed her anxiety down. Jessica has created a freaking 3-tier course set up for her clients. Jessica has been attracting and growing her account like crazy. Jessica has been going live. Her confidence has shot up. People are asking her about her courses and her service and inquiring to her. This is less than 30 days. And Jessica she scheduled an emotional mastery session with me, Eclipse Your Chaos session first. That's what helped her calm down the anxiety and the digestion and different things like that. Then after that, she got the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite, which is the self program that literally supports you in syncing with your cycle, really tapping into your creativity, learning how to become an energetic match to receive whatever it is, really aligning with your feminine energy. And the way Jessica has blossomed and bloomed in less than 30 days is so crazy to me. And then I also have my client that, not even my client. She's not even my client. An attorney, I told you guys, it's an attorney in Lagos, Nigeria, writing me a full-page letter about how I supported her and helping her with her attention span issues around her autism and her ADHD. So we literally are supporting people in healing things like autistic attention span issues and ADHD. I'm not new to this. I'm very true to it. It all starts, like I said, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, manifests physically. It manifests in your relationship with your money, and then it manifests in your relationship with other people, period. Spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, financial, and social. That's how I'm going to help you elevate your life. We going down a formula. So that is what the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite does for you. And it's a self-paced study. You get those courses. You get 2 one-on-one sessions with me. And those 2 one-on-one sessions with me get you where you need to be. My client Dee Dee did the same thing. Got the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite. She is out here using that roadmap to support her clients in manifesting using their authentic feminine energy. And she is going amazing. She's doing well. Okay? So, like I said, you can schedule your session, which is in a master. You can click the link in the bio to be able to schedule a session. You can come to the class that we're having on August the 4th, which is going to support you in calming your nervous system, or you can join one of my programs, the Harmony in 6 program, or you can get the self-study program, which is the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite, which is basically your entire business model in a box. If you want a feminine based business model, the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite is going to be there for you. If you want to make money with ease and really operate according to alignment, that's going to be good for you. If you know you need more one-on-one support and you need more of me because you need that accountability, then get in Harmony in 6. Okay? If you are a business owner currently, and you are struggling to figure out what's going on with your cycle, and you know that you're off balance, you know that you've been grinding, then click the link in my bio. And this is only for business owners. This is only for ambitious creatives who actively are out here working, or powerhouse business owners, or women with businesses. Click the link in my bio and take the quiz. I have a quiz called the Cycle Mood Insight Quiz for business owners. This is going to teach you how to, thank you my love for these gifts, it's going to teach you and help you discover what your feminine flow is. It's going to let you know if you're off balance hormonally. It's going to let you know if you're off balance emotionally, and it's going to let you know if you're off balance when it comes down to your finances. Thank you, my love, for these gifts. So you're going to take that quiz, and when you take that quiz, you're going to tally up your score, and you're going to get the results at the end, and the results are going to tell you which one of my products and services is going to support you best on that journey. And there's a link for you to be able to start working with me, whether it's the Feminine Flourishing Mastery Suite, or if it's you need an emotional eclipse or chaos session, or if you need the Harmony in 6 program. It is going to let you know exactly which one that you need. So if you are a business owner and you know that you are out of whack and you know that you are off balance, take that quiz and start doing your work. You can take that, and I'm gonna tell you something, don't take that quiz if you ain't finna do nothing about it, because it's gonna tell you the truth. And let me see. I don't think I have this. I don't have the scoring legend up, but it's gonna tell you the truth. It's gonna tell you if you're okay, you're fine. Okay, this is moderate. Okay, red flag, red flag. It's going to let you know. So be prepared for that, and most importantly, be prepared for what your next move is going to be, because some decisions have to be made, especially if you fall into those higher level categories. Okay, so there's support available to you. That, like I said, that link is in the bio to be able to get that. What questions do you guys have for me? Because I've got to get off here. Because yeah, I got to go. This quiz is for women who are ambitious creatives or business owners. Oh, click the link in the bio. So if you're entrepreneurial, then click the link in the bio, because guess what? You're going to need it. And really and truly, to me, I feel like most women end up taking, because we're all basically, for the most part, we're entrepreneurial. If you ain't, baby, don't waste your time. And the reason why I say too, because if you're not, because you don't, if you're not entrepreneurial and you take this quiz, you're just taking it so you can know something. You're not really gonna do anything about what's going on, when in reality you actually need to do something about what's going on. And then you have things for you. And most of the time, people who are already in business understand investment, so they're not afraid of investment. They understand that they're going to have to invest if they want to get to where they need to be. So that's another reason why I made this specifically for them. Okay, what questions do you guys have for me? Yeah, what questions do you guys have for me? Drop them in the comments before I get ready to go, because I've got to go. And congratulations, somebody purchased a ticket to the masterclass. I'm seeing those. come through. I'm seeing 2 of those. Because I'm telling y'all, you're going to have to calm your nervous system. You have to know how. Seriously. That's not something that you necessarily you want to wait on. Okay? I'm going to, this will be up on YouTube. So it'll probably pay up tomorrow. Girl, I don't know. I gotta eat something. I gotta catch a flight tomorrow. So I got a lot to do. So I'm gonna have to find something quick. I always tell people, if you have type 2, to pay attention to your anger and long-term resentment. It's in a bio. If you have any long-term resentment, because that tends to ruin your liver, and when that ruins your liver, you hear a lot of diabetics end up going blind, because there's a connection between the liver and the nourishing of the eyes. A lot of times when people get diabetes, they are eating a lot of processed sweets and different things, right? But it comes down to, why are they eating the processed sweets? So then we have people who are emotional eaters, and the only thing that they can control is what's going on with them. So food then becomes a dopamine hit. So we get so attracted to the sugar and so connected to the sugar, and that we want it all the time. We're eating it consistently. The body becomes so overwhelmed with trying to process whatever this processed sugar is and this processed stuff is, that it throws everything out of whack. And if the energy and emotion is already kind of like angry and bitter, when you think about it's very interesting that people talk about you get diabetes from too much sugar, but there's also a connection to bitterness, right? So bitterness ruins the liver. Long-term resentment ruins the liver, which causes you to go blind. So you can't see past what it is that you have going on, and you also can't create. So you just continue to just pile on, which continues to throw the body out of balance. And when you pay attention to an illness like diabetes, it attacks certain organs all around to eventually it gets to your heart. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. You're welcome. Any other questions? But pay attention to that. Type 2 diabetes, pay attention to lifestyle, emotions, keeping your anger in check. Also, and well, I'll say this too, when we're dealing with the liver and we're dealing with the eyes, once we've dealt with the emotional energy, or the energy emotion like of anger, once we've kind of rectified that, we want to start eating things that are going to strengthen the liver and start eating for the liver. So you want to start eating things like carrots, because carrots is actually good for the eyes. When you cut a carrot raw and you look at it, it looks like what? An eye. It also is going to support your liver as well, because there's a connection again between the liver and the eyes, because the liver is actually what sends up the nourishing blood to the eyes, so the eyes are able to do what they need to do. So carrots are really good for that. But if you got a bunch of anger written in your body, you can eat all the carrots you want to. It's just kind of like it's, but yeah, I always tell people, like, address the energy and emotion first, so then you can put the proper chemical energy within your body. And then that actually is going to help the body alchemize and start putting the body back on track. Okay? So yeah, any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you. And also, I also have a paid subscription to my YouTube channel. For those who are interested in that, I'm going to be having private monthly lives with my YouTube subscribers. So if you are on my YouTube subscriber list, or if you are subscribe to my YouTube, and you want the benefits of that, I'm going to be having like a live Q&A session once a month with them, just to pretty much kind of show my support. And they actually get access to certain lives and certain things like that. They get access to extra things that I don't make available to everyone else. So make sure that you go over there and you subscribe and get a paid membership, so you can really get access if you're not ready to join any of my programs yet. So make your way over there. I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing, amazing weekend. I am about to go. I don't know. I'm gonna be out on my next adventure next week, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be going live, but we gonna see. Okay. So y'all have an amazing, amazing weekend. Happy Feminine Friday. I hope and pray that something here inspired you to think, and it was edifying. And yeah. So I will see y'all next time. Congratulations to those who are going to be coming to the class, and congratulations to those who are investing in their well-being. Thank y'all so much. I hope y'all have an amazing, amazing evening. Peace, y'all.